Hey everybody, Katrina here. I am hopping on because I am going to be making some Alfredo sauce in our Deluxe Cooking Blender so that we can have it with some chicken cordon bleu and some pasta, or you can have it any other way if you want to do just regular chopped up chicken and Alfredo sauce. It is super handy to have Alfredo sauce on hand, and I honestly have to tell you that that stuff that comes in the jars that you buy at the store is nasty. So I like to make mine from scratch. Now, sometimes I make it on the stove, but you can make it in the blender also. So the actual blender comes with its own recipe in the sauce settings in our blender book that comes with it. But I have another recipe that I use. So basically, I just took the recipe that is in the book here and edited it a little bit. So the recipe actually calls for milk, but my recipe uses heavy cream. So we're going to use 2 cups of heavy cream. So it says in our first stage, we're going to put in the liquids and the seasonings. So I'm going to put in the heavy cream, and we're going to put in a teaspoon of garlic, which is what I would normally use. Now, normally if I'm making it on the stove, I would do it in a different order, just because of the way you're making it on the stove. You want all the ingredients combined at once. But here we just want to heat up the milk and get that ready to go before we add the other ingredients. So I'm going to add the milk, or like I said, heavy cream. We're going to use heavy cream, and we're going to add a teaspoon of garlic. So you can use this book that comes with the blender as just like as a guideline, like I said. So it literally says that when you're going to make the sauces, in the first stage, you want to add the liquid and the seasonings. In the second stage, you're going to add the thickener. So if you have a recipe that does that, so you're just going to do that. So I'm going to do the heavy cream and the garlic, which is from my recipe, not the recipe in the book. And then for the thickener stage, I'm going to add the butter. I use a stick of butter in mine. And then I use 2 tablespoons of cream cheese as well. So those are my thickeners. So we're going to add those when we get to the second stage. So basically, I'm going to turn this on here and turn the dial to sauce. And it tells me here that it's going to heat up to 176 degrees. That's the first stage. So once it gets to 176 degrees, the machine is going to beep and tell me to add. It's going to say add on the screen. And that's where we're at the second stage. So when we get to that second stage, like I said, we're going to add the butter and the cream cheese from my recipe. So 1 stick of butter, 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. But I'm just going to hit start on this for right now. This also has a third stage, which is add-ins. At that point, the machine has stopped cooking, and you're going to just pulse in whatever you need. You're going to do a custom blend or pulse it in, however you want to do. But we're going to put in a half a cup of Parmesan at the end to finish out our sauce. So that's going to make it absolutely delicious, I have to tell you. And the one thing that I love about the blender is that it always heats it to the perfect temperature. So you're not worried about not cooking it hot enough or cooking it too hot and having it separate, because that can happen when you do recipes with butter and milk and stuff. But if you cook it too hot, it's going to separate and it's not going to taste the same. So I like to keep this Alfredo sauce on hand in my fridge because it's super easy to reheat. But you do want to make sure that you reheat it slowly. So I will reheat like a section of it in the microwave. I'll scoop out some, put it in a glass dish, and put it in my microwave. But only heat it for 30 seconds at a time and stir it up in between, because you want to heat it slow. Because again, the microwave can make things super hot. And if you cook it too hot, it's going to separate and it's not going to be the same. So I just wanted to show you this because it was super easy. So like I said, despite the recipe in the book, I use 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 tablespoon. I really like garlic, but not that much. Okay, 1 teaspoon of garlic in the first stage. 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of garlic in the first stage. In the second stage, we're going to add a stick of butter and 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. Then, after that has finished completely, we're going to pulse in a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Grated Parmesan, whether you do fresh or the store-bought canned, is entirely up to you. All right, well, I am going to let you go, and I'll post a picture later. Bye-bye.